Hey folks, Darren Crouch from DX Crouch Marine. Recently I showed some stern gear and the principles and fundamentals. I recently went and installed this equipment on the boat. Little video on the side here showing how bad it was, and it was shockingly bad. Should we see how we got it fixed? Hi folks, beautiful summer's day. Just a quick additional to the previous video on stuffing boxes. So this is the equipment we displayed before. You didn't see this cup link. This is a clamp coupling for the shaft, so the bolts here will clamp the split side of it down here onto the shaft, and you've got a grub screw to help it stay true. So this is the old equipment we're replacing. So this is a different style of packing box. So this has got a threaded cap on the end. So all you do is do the nut up, and that will actually compress the packing inside. So basically, this is the point that's bolted inside. It's the gland that's bolted on the inside of the hull, and then this is the bearing on the outside. And this is one of those soft cutlass bearings with the soft embossed like neoprene liner, and that's on the outside of the hull. So there's nothing supporting the shaft between the hull. Okay, and this big gouge mark here is because the two piddly little bolts are they're 1/2 inch cross flat, so they're going to be what, like 8mm effectively in metric terms, or 1/4 inch, yeah. What's happened is the shaft's bent. So then it's bent, it's caused this to rattle loose, and this is actually grinding on the hull. So yeah, so what I've done with this job is I've asked for the shaft to be thicker. So the old one's 1¼ inch, I think, and the new one's 1½ inch. So a meteor proposition. So just a quick reference to this. So this is obviously your gland, as discussed before. There's your bearing, which is supporting the shaft all the way down the end to the very end of this boss. This boss is being welded to the hull. I put the green marker just so I know where the threads meet and where the top would be referenced to this. So when I weld it, this should then reach the top. So as you do it up, the threads will lock up and this will be at the top, so it makes it easier to work with it. And there you go. Better system, older system, and a slightly bigger prop. Thank you. So we just jumped straight in now, watching the old equipment's been taken out. We've cut it out, removed it. It's quite straightforward to do. Cleaned the area up and prepped it. Now all I'm doing is simply pulling through the new equipment through the hole at the back of the stern of the boat. Basically the idea being is that you assemble it lightly to the output on the gearbox. That way we can tack it into place when we weld it, and that will give us a reference point and register it in properly, because we want to maintain the alignment and make sure the equipment gets looked after. And it's just a question of fiddly in and out, playing with it, getting it right, setting it up, applying the new plate and that sort of stuff to reinforce things, and meticulousness basically. I'm not sure that's even a word, but there we go, we invented it. And that way we can ensure that the equipment gets welded in properly, support where we can. Bizarrely, there wasn't really any room inside the boat to put the whole equipment inside as desired. So for example, the boss would be further back inside, which meant the whole thing was sticking out the back of the boat. So I actually reinforced it with some steel and some to actually end up looking like a rocket ship, which was quite amusing. But considering the nature of this job and the way it was the best we could do with what we had. As much as I'd like to be a perfectionist, I'm a realist. I try to work with excellence, not perfection. It doesn't always work that way, I find. That way we maintain a good install, and the equipment is going to be put to good use. So boss is welded in place now with the plates to support it, give it a bit more surface area. I've had to stick the boss almost completely outside of the boat because it just isn't any room inside the boat for everything. The engine's going to be remounted anyway, and I'm going to be able to bring the engine back a little bit just to allow some room to get into the gland. This side is the side I started off. Getting set up wasn't perfect, but I've done a double run because it was just positioning of everything. There was a kind of a lap on that weld. I want to protect the first weld. See the top one ran smoothly, nice penetration. I'm quite happy with that. And down the side was just a straight run on its own. No need to double up on that side. I was quite happy with that. Again, the bottom welding upwards, a little undercut, but again, it's not too bad. I'm happy there. I think the corner there is okay. I might just quickly nip on that corner there just to make sure, and then welding around the boss in a really tight, cramped conditions as always. And that seems to be okay so far. But what I'm going to do now is, I'm not happy about the boss sticking out this far on its own. I'm going to weld in some plate, just triangulate it off here, off there. It won't look as pretty as probably, but it'll be structurally sound. I've got to go inside and do the welding from the other side as well, but once it's done, it's going to be a good solid fit. So far so good. Righto. And there we go. The welding is D-U-N done, as I believe our American cousins say. So what I've done is I've reinforced it as described with this. Looks like a space rocket now. Customer's happy. It's solid. Welding inside's all sorted out as well. Just got to get some blacking on it. Once it's cooled, it's a little bit warm still. I've just run a second run of welds down around in each one of these and each 4 points, just because the root run wasn't really enough. But that'll do for now. We'll get the rest of this stern gear assembled and take another video for you. And that's that done. Installation of the gears all sorted out. Customer's going to come in and paint the all the steel work here with some blacking in a bit. I'm done for today. I just need to come back to my remount his engine and wiring up a loom, because it's poor bloke's boat did sink. Ironically, not because of this, but it did happen. So, but there we go, installed, ready to go. I've pre-greased the shaft. Picture should be up. But there we go. Grease will get sorted out in a sec, and he's good to cruise. I believe he's now found a new water point to go to, so life is good. Alright, thanks very much. And now we see the view from inside. The coupling and everything's all been set in place, and you can see the alignment just snugs in nicely. I was trying to show off a little bit by spinning it into place, but it just isn't enough room for that. But yeah, nice smooth fit. No gaps around. Alignment's nice and crisp. Bolts that hold it all together. Perfect.